Welcome everyone to the Seer for Week 3, Season 4 for Valhalla Esports. I am Hailstorm, joined by Malco and Blitzkrieg Pyro. How you guys doing?
Doing all right, doing all right. How about you? How you doing yourself?
Doing well. How about you, Blitz?
Excited to be here. Hope to get this recap of last week and set the table for next week. And next week is tonight. So
Exactly.
ready for that next stream.
Yep, be ready for the live streamed games. Should be happening at 9 EST or for Bentage ET. And yeah, we'll run through the recap pretty quick. Unfortunately, didn't get any clip submissions this week, so we won't have those. But we'll just set up for tonight, looking into the first set of games, which was Goat Kings versus Los Nomadas. Malco, you want to run through this one for me?
Yeah, sure. Really quick, can you put up your screen so I can see?
Yes, that would be helpful.
I was confused. I was like, wait a second, he's doing the intro, but I'm not seeing a live screen here. Uh-oh. But
There you go.
here we go. So from this week, we have Goat Kings versus Los Namadas. With Goat Kings, it's looking like their draft first for bans. It's going to be Cassiopeia, Vladimir, Amumu, Ari, Annie. And then from Los Namadas, they ended up banning the Jin, the Vigar, the Urgot, the Cassante, and the Zerath. Goat Kings, for their picks, we see Ash, Volibear, Leona, Rek'Sai, Aurelion, Soul. And for Los Namadas, we end up seeing the Ezreal, Nautilus, Renekton, Shyvana, Swain.
That's right. I like the ideas from Goat Kings, a lot of CC and tankiness coming from the jungle and top lane. It was still on that patch where Rek'Sai was like the flavor of the month for the top lane, so Beard giving that a shot while he was playing up there. Los Nomadas has a pretty standard Los Nomadas comp. Got Bulgaria on that Shyvana he likes to farm up with. Swain for Snapopsy in the mid lane. Eli likes that Renekton top, and then a safe bot lane that's ready to carry. That was a big swing and a miss. Well, speaking of, we can jump into the score screen.
Right
and
into
see
that one.
that it was a bit of a swing and a miss for Beard. Went 3-8-8, so not like completely awful, but Renekton is pretty good right now, especially at bullying. So definitely going to be a tougher matchup there. Looks like Sir Bopsy and Redacted Vlad having a real big pop-off game.
It honestly just looks like from. I'm trying to make sure I see both teams properly. Oh, there we go. Okay. It just looks like based upon it, looks like the bot lane just absolutely ran wild in this game for the side of Los Namadas, and it just didn't look like Goat Kings was able to really capitalize on anything on their side.
Yeah, for sure. But we'll jump into draft for game number 2. See if any updates helped out the Goat Kings for this game.
This time around, we see Los Namadas on blue side with Goat Kings on red. Los Namadas with their bands of Jin, Vigar, Urgot, Kisante, Malphite. The only change from last game being the Malphite. And Goat Kings with their bands of Cass, Vladimir, Shyvana, Swain, and the Amumu. Los Namadas end up going for picks of Ezreal, Nautilus, Renekton, Diana, Pantheon. And the Goat Kings go for Kaisa, Brand, Vi, Rek'Sai, Lux.
Yeah, keeping a lot of the same for Los Namadas. Same bot lane, same top, and I just had to switch out the champs that got banned away. But still a pretty standard draft for them. Goat Kings. Going back to Rek'Sai, putting that Vi jungle, looking for a pretty team fight centric comp, it looks like. We'll have to see how that one turned out for them, as we'll jump to the score screen for game number 2. And it's looking like Los Namadas took the second game, sweeping the series 2-0, but definitely a much closer game this time. Just 3 kills apart and ending the gold just 7k gold apart. So it looks like this one was much more of a scrap.
Yeah.
Looks like, again, Mr. Bopsy and the bot lane doing a lot of work. Didn't miss as bad. Miss CS but played better. Well, that's good. You got any thoughts, Blitz or Melko?
I just think right now this is just a matter of Goat Kings just trying to figure out exactly like what they want to do. But I think from the draft wise, it just seems that Los Namados just had a much more cohesive draft in general. And I think that's kind of where they might have just really won it out for themselves. Even though this game was definitely a lot closer because the draft adaptations from Goat Kings was definitely a lot better. I think though, in general though, just the fact that Los Namados has a consistent draft that they know they can go to, it's definitely something that probably is just working in their favor for this season.
Yeah, for sure. We'll jump to the second series of the week, which was FF15 versus the Bomba Bros. Looks like there was a miss pick during the draft, but that Nocturne is supposed to be a Lilia. What Bomba on the blue side banned away Morg, MF, Poppy, Jarvan, and Seraphine. FF15 took out that Ivern, Talia, Zach, and Karma Alawi. Bomba Bros ended up with that Braum Caitlyn, the Shaco, Yone, and Ornn. FF15 had that Senna, Lilia, Maokai, Xerath, Trundle. What are your thoughts on this draft?
I personally like the side of FF15. Actually, I like both sides drafts. Both sides just have a very clear idea of what they want to do. And it looks like FF15 was trying to go for definitely that like split type of comp where you're kind of allowing the Trundle just to kind of do what they want, while everyone else is able to do like a 4-1 composition. While it seems like Bomba Bros had just a comp that's just overall trying to just mitigate everything that could possibly happen in the early game, get themselves to that mid game point, and then being able to win out in team fights. And with the Shaco also being able to pick off random people from here and there. So I think like both of these teams were probably, this is probably looking like the most even draft that we've seen so far tonight on the Seer.
For sure, for sure. You got any thoughts, Blitz?
Sorry, I have a phone call. My
Oh, you're all
apologies.
good. We can keep going. Yeah, I'd agree. Definitely, we saw in the last games we casted how powerful that Trundle can be in that split push. We'll jump to the score screen where we see game 1 going the way of FF15. Looking like Pretty scrappy game overall. Looks like a lot of kills went the way of FF15. Big farm numbers on Smoothie, 253. And looks like Bentis was getting a lot of snipes off, 10, 4, and 8. So yeah, we'll play by them. Take game number 1. See if we had any adjustments as we go into draft 2. Looks like they swapped sides, FF15, but they didn't. Rude of them, really. We had Ivern, Talia, Zach, Scion this time, and Ilawi banned away. Bumbro stuck with that Morg, Poppy, Zerath, J4, and Trundle this time. Didn't want to see it again in game 2. FF15 had Misfortune, Leona, Asol, Lilia, and Urgot. Bombros had that Nyla, Alistar, Gragas, Amumu, Mordekaiser. Looking like a big Wombo kind of team comp from Bomba Bros. And a more straight up team fight again from FF15, but the Urgot can again act as that split pusher if they want. How you feel about this game?
The composition from FF15 once again has not really changed at all. It's just once again we want to be able to have a 4-1 composition that can work. And if it comes down to it, if we come to a 5v5, we're more than likely winning against you. And I think that's very clearly like what they're basically trying to play this whole season. Is just going to be, let's do 4-1. Let's try to put the pressure on a lane if we can. And if we're able to, we can win elsewhere by having to draw 2-3 members on the opposite side of the map. So I like the fact that they're trying to play it by like saying, hey, you got to out macro us in order to win these games. So honestly, FF15 has a really they have a really good mindset on this from what it seems like.
For sure. Let's see how it panned out. And looking like went the way of FF15 for game 2, getting the overall victory 2-0 over Abamba Bros. But again, looks like F15 just had a really powerful game. 32 kills to 19. Evbot trying to do work on that Gragas, but was taken out by Salt's Lilia and Covert's Misfortune, looks like.
I'll say this. I don't think there's anything like this is the first week, so people seeing like these 2-0s happening, don't be discouraged. This is literally like the first 2 weeks of the league. Yeah, this is the second week. So like we're in the first 2 weeks of the league, just starting up and everything. So some teams should start picking up real soon. But from this, from just seeing these 2-0s, don't be too discouraged, especially for the losing teams here.
Yeah, and even when 2-0s happen, I'm sure if you watched through the whole game, there are points where either team could have taken it. But yeah, we'll roll into the third series, being Night Raid Owls against the Kraken Slayers. Night Raid on the blue side, game 1. Banned away the Yasuo, Yone, Jinx, Urgot, Mordekaiser. Kraken Slayers taking out Tryndamere, Lilia, Shyvana, Jax, Poppy. And then Night Raid had Volibear, Maokai, Ezreal, Hui, and Renekton. Kraken Slayers had Galio, Warwick, Tristana, Cassiopeia, and Garen. And I was actually in these games, so I can give a little bit of what happened as we look at the score screens. But what are your thoughts just based on the draft?
Oh man,
need more CC.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this.
All
Night
the
Raid
CC.
Owls looked like they were trying to actually do a comp, and then Kraken Slayers feels like it was just, all right, here's a bunch of comfort picks. We're just gonna play into this and see how it goes.
Yeah, a little bit. Sometimes comfort helps out, but
I mean, we see that
this
Urgot
game
and
one
Mordekaiser
went.
banned against you, so yeah, it makes sense that you would
Pretty
resort to the
rude,
Garen.
honestly. Who would ban champions against me?
Listen, if they're gonna ban Poppy all the time against KB, we gotta have at least one against you.
All right. But yeah, it did go the way game 1 of Night Raid Owls. Kibu performed really well on that Volibear, able to use that really strong ultimate for a lot of tower dives. Mine's Desire got big on the Crocodile and was a menace in the side lane, and then Hui just with his 10,000 range. They had the substitution stuff in for them for mid, so we were lacking in info on what he would actually play. It was a little sad
Dainty.
one.
Dainty looks like Dainty was also all over the map. Looks like he was maybe able to outrote rotate Killer Kumquat with those 19 assists.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely had a lot of extended grub fights as well, where it was like a 4v4 with both supports roaming up. And I think it was the first grub fight. I got like 4 kills, but also Stuff got 4 kills. So we're both fairly strong at that point. And then I kind of lost my lead top. I fought Renekton, and I thought his ult was also down as mine was, but his wasn't, and he just barely got a kill on me and then had the edge kind of from there. But still a pretty scrappy game. Once they got control, they were able to run with it pretty well. Here we'll jump into draft number 2. Kraken Slayers on the blue side, Night Raid on the red. We banned away that Hui, took out the Lilia and the Ezreal, along with the Olaf and Tryndamere. Night Raid stuck with similar bans first 3, Yone, Yas, Jinx, and then took out the Galio Nautilus, because I actually picked the Urgot in the first 3 this time. So we ended up with Volibear, Urgot, Ashe, Twisted Fate, and Rel. They had Syndra, Maokai, Sejuani, Camille, and Lux. How you feeling about these drafts for game number 2?
I much better like what Kraken Slayers got going on. Mostly because of the fact that Kraken Slayers actually got picks that I can tell they definitely wanted. Like, I'm gonna say this: the Volibear, the Urgot, and the Rel right now are looking like the 3 main picks that were really like the ones that were wanted, and then the Ashe and the Twisted Fate. Well, the Ashe seems like more just like in general safe and really good AD carry pick right now. So you guys basically got a team that you definitely could want, and then again, Twisted Fate just delivers utility while delivering a lot of damage. Night Raid Owls, just in general, the only thing I think I'm really afraid of for you guys is that top side when it comes to the Syndra, the Maokai, and the the Syndra, the Sejuani, and the Camille. I don't know why I thought that Maokai was jungle for a second, but that bot lane looks like it must have been an absolute shit show. I'm sorry.
I'm liking the increased amount of CC in this game, but I do feel like the Night Raid Owls CC is a little bit easier to execute. I mean, so there's some skill shots. There are some point and clicks from Kraken Slayer. But I think just like the overall layering of CC, especially with the Maokai or just even a Syndra orb, and then they're just on top of you and you can't move anymore.
True. We'll look at how this one panned out as Night Raid Owl did take game number 2, got their 2-0 victory for the week as well. Stuff Unkillable Demon King on that Lux 6-0 and 15. And another really scrappy game, but with some of that easier CC and good poke from Syndra and Lux, made the game tough on our side. And then once Mines got a little bit of love from Kid Buu, had that lead, made it really hard to have anyone in the side lane as well.
Don't need to ban Urgot from you anymore.
Exactly, leave him up. I'm bad. I'm washed. And we'll jump into games from the 4th series this week, being Stone Nation versus Demonic Ascension. This one we did cast, so you can speed run through these ones if you want to see what happened. Go watch the stream. But Star Nation had Rakan, Caitlyn, Volibear, Trundle, Xerath. Demonic Ascension had Senna, Hui, Ornn, Viego, Nautilus. And game number 1 fell the way of Stoner Nation, utilizing the Trundle counterpick into Timberland's Ornn pretty effectively, and then Boomstick having a huge game on the Volibear was all over the place. Jump into draft game number 2. Stoner Nation blue side with Jax, Thresh, Ashe, Trundle, and Lux. Demonic Ascension red side with the Alistar, Wukong, Jhin, Maokai, and Ziggs. Another potential counter pick they were looking for with that Trundle top and jungling with the Jax. But looking at the score screen, we see Timberland able to play much better than Trundle as the Maokai, and then with Console C popping off Unkillable Demon King on that Jhin, 14-0 and 6. Had basically one fight where he got a couple of shutdowns and became 4-0 at that point, I think it was. And just kind of ran the game from there with a nice protection from the rest of the team. but this game was very back and forth and could have gone either way for sure. But sent us to the Silver Scrapes for game number 3, where Bomba Blues were on the blue side, Storm Nation on the red side. Bombo had. Wait,
I don't think.
this is the
Yeah.
wrong one.
No, I think it only was only a 2 game.
No, this was a 3-game one.
Then that's my bad then.
I think this is the only 3-game of the week, wasn't it?
Can you run through for me, Malco?
Yes, sir. Bomba Bros with their bands of Camille, H-Rocks, Galileo, Gwen, and Olaf. Stoners Nation with their bands of. Wait.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, wait. That's supposed to be. I thought that was. Is that not DA?
Yeah, hang on. It doesn't have the updated screenshot. Let me look.
That's
back
my
in the
bad. I
team
missed
chat.
that then.
Here it is. Let me
My
save
apologies.
this image. You're all good.
Hang in there while we handle these technical difficulties.
Save
Demonic
that.
Ascension band, the Kinnan, the Jinx, the Volley Bear, Diana, and Syndra. Southern Nation band, Malphite, Chin, Swain, Maokai, and Ornn.
Here we go.
Demonic
Got it
Ascension
updated.
picked Trundle, Varus, Karma, Mordekaiser, and Aurelion Soul, while Stoner Nation selected Wukong, Milio, Twitch, Shen, and Silas.
Yep. And got it back up. Had him set up for the game 3. This time, Demonic Ascension taking the Trundle away, not letting Stoner Nation have it. Using it for the jungle, and Tim going on that Mordekaiser, but we'll check out the score screen, which I will also update quickly. Here it comes. And then reset.
Almost there.
There we go. And we see that Demonic Ascension pulled off the victory with the 2-0 sweep after losing game 1. This one was also a very back and forth game. Not too many
Yeah.
kills. It was 17-14, but all the towers taken. Had a Baron, a bunch of dragons. So this one was a long one. Could have gone either team's way, but Demonic Ascension pulling off the victory. And we'll jump into the 5th series for week number 2, and I'll let you run through this one Blitzkrieg if you want.
Sure. Insert name there. Banned out Nocturne, Nautilus, Ari, Nami, and Milio. We got 3 ins there. HYG banning Swain, Amumu, Volibear, Ashe, and Ezreal. Insert name there, taking the Zac with the first pick. It's a good flex pick for that team with the Riven, Maokai, Jinx, and Vigar. HYG taking the Poppy, Set, Lucian, Rel, and Oriana. My first take off the bat, well, I guess, so I'm assuming that's a Poppy jungle and a Rel support. I would have expected to see like a Braum or something paired with the Lucian that could really take advantage of the, um, of his double
A double
burst.
hit, yeah.
Right. So I'm
Yeah,
kind of surprised there with the Rel. I love Rel. I love the engage, especially the counter engage up possibilities into the Zac and the Maokai. But just not necessarily playing for lane, but playing for the team fight.
right. I know the Nami and Milio, both good lane partners for that Lucian, so some good bans after they third pick that Lucian from INT. But yeah, Omega the Reaper being the top laner for insert name there, getting his main, which is that Riven, and then they have a bunch of big CC from the Zac and Maokai. I like that setup for this game.
The memories of casting this game just came in. That Riven, Lord have mercy.
And these games also got streamed, though they're broken up into chunks due to technical difficulty. But if you want to see these ones, you can check them out as well. And we'll jump into the score screen.
Yep. Omega the Reaper absolutely pops off on that Riven and takes over the map single-handedly, quite literally themselves at that point. Like Mont Blanc, very, very good presence along the map, but the Omega the Reaper, once they got online, immediately just started running over everybody. Jeffrey Crazy was probably the highlight for HYG on that side, but it was definitely the Riven show in that game one.
Yeah, definitely popped off on that main pick, showing why you gotta respect it. But yeah, well played by them. Game one. We'll see what kind of adjustments were made for draft number 2.
So as you can see, this time we see from INT the bans are Nocturne, Nautilus, Ari, Silas, Alawi. From HYG, we do see Swain, Riven, Volibear, Vigar, and Singed. INT then decided to go back with the Zac once again. Good factor to use for winning last time. Then the Ashe, Maokai, Trundle, and Talia. While HYG decided to go with the Lucian, Zinzao, able to pair it up with the Nami this time alongside Shen and Victor.
For sure, for sure. Is her name there? I like it. Just like comp worked game one. If they don't ban too much of it away, may as well run a lot of it back. And Mont Blanc definitely like that Zac jungle for HYG. I like the change-ups they made. They now got the Lucian and Nami at the same time, so they have the bot lane they wanted. And a nice control mage in the mid, and Shen who can just hold his own pretty well against Trundle and ult into fights as needed. So I like their team comp a lot more for this game number 2. We'll have to see how it worked out. You got any thoughts before we jump to the score screen? And I'll send
I
it
just like the
on
fact
over.
that I like this time that the Nami got paired with the Lucian,
Oh yeah, for
but
sure.
but unfortunately it wasn't enough. Them getting that bot lane pairing, it was definitely a much better showing this game for HYG. I definitely want to give them props for that. They were definitely a much stronger showing this time around, actually able to take the kill lead, but not able to actually make it out of the game. Once again, HYG still having some of the same issues as they have had in previous seasons, where their early game is absolutely great. They do very, very well in the early game, but then their mid to late just starts to they can't translate those early game leads that they do get, because they generally can be 1,000 to 1,500 gold up by 15, and then by 20s I've seen them be up as much as 3,000, but then it just immediately dips for them, and I'm not sure if what it is, like once they hit that 20-minute mark, what's going on for them, but it's something that they might want to really start to like really tighten up a bit, because that game looked like it could have been HYG's game to take and they could have pushed it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Also, in the fights where insert name there end up getting their lead back, or getting back closer to even, since they were behind early. There were a couple very close missed kills with a couple dismissed skill shots and whatnot. So definitely with a little bit of that cleaned up, I think HYG could have taken this game number 2. But well played to INT to get that 2-0 for this week's series. And we'll jump to the final matchup for week number 2, which was Titan Gaming Mox against Shifting Sands Gaming. This one had a lot of subs on the side of Titan Mox Gaming, which is really Titan Gaming Mox. So I believe they had 3 subs for this week. But they banned away Elise, Azir, Nidalee, and a Volibear. Shifting Sands took out Vayne, Zeri, Yi, Victor, and Smolder. Titan Gaming Mox grabbed that. Lulu, Vex, Malphite, Jinx, Diana. Shifting Sands grabbing the Ziggs, Alistar, Hecarim, Ornn, and Viego. How you feel about the draft?
I honestly think I'm more on the Shifting Sands gaming side when it comes to their draft. I really like the interesting take of the fact that they do have a Hecarim top, and is it Hecarim top or is it Viego top for this one?
I think it's Ornn top.
Ornn.
Oh, Ornn top, sorry. So it ends
And
up being
maybe a Viego mid.
Viego mid, and then Ziggs bot. I always like
Victor
seeing the
mid.
Ziggs bottom. It's always something different. but we do see a much more standard comp from the side of Titan Gaming Mox,
Oh,
and I already can tell Jinx Lulu is going to be annoying.
Apparently it's Victor mid. They messed up their bans. So it's really a Viego ban and then a Victor pick?
Oh, okay.
Maybe. Alright, well. With the Victor, that makes a lot more sense. Makes him a little AP heavy, but we will see how it went in the score screen. Heck ban. What do you mean heck ban? Let's see what actually happened. Looks like it was taken on the side of Shifting Sands Gaming. Had a Victor mid.
Okay, so they were
instead
just
of Hecarim. Okay, so the Hecarim pick was Victor. Gotcha. Yeah. Looks like that Victor did very well. 12, 2, and 12. A ton of damage. So just well played there. Looks like they sat back, bided their time, got to big team fights, and just did what they needed to do. Well played game one. We'll jump into the draft for game number 2. Hopefully these picks are correct. Let me know if they're not. Taking in Mox on the blue side. Taking out Lee, Elise, Azir, Victor, and Asol. Alright, they are correct this time, thank goodness. Shifting Sands took out Yi, Zeri, Vayne, Vex, Malphite. Taking Mox ended up with that Nami Jinx bot, Hecarim jungle, Yone top, and Swain mid, I assume. And then Shifting Sands with the Ziggs, Alistar once again, Volibear, Ornn, and Jace. So pretty similar setup there for Shifting Sands. Say if it worked game 1, may as well keep it up. How you feel about this draft?
right now. It seems like Titan Gaming Mox tried to keep the same type of draft from last game, but it's Shifting Sands. I like this significantly better. Definitely a better mix of AD, AP, and you have a lot more CC. Team fighting with the extra poke is gonna be absolutely insane from that Ziggs Jace combination.
Sounds good. Let's see how it went. Alright, looks like you're correct. Shifting Sands took the series 2-0 this week as they were fighting against the mostly substitute team of Titan Gaming Mox, but I believe this week they'll have it all together. Apparently Avius got a quadra. Well played to him on that Volibear. Could have been a penta though. Gotta get that one more kill for your teammate once they get that quadra, you know? Come on, Shifting Sands.
And let's get the video clip next time. Let's share it with the class.
Yep. Make sure as we're going through all these, if you get big plays in, just get a clip from your replay and post them in the new channel I posted so we can check out the clips from the week. But with that, we'll look at the games coming up. We got some live games all going on tonight. Oh, didn't hide my predictions. Bam, like it never even happened. Alright, we've got Goat Kings versus the Bomba Bros, Night Raid Owls versus Los Nomadas, FF15 versus Kraken Slayers, Stoner Nation versus HYG, Demonic Ascension versus Titan Gaming Mox, and insert name there versus Shifting Sands Gaming. Any of the matchups stick out to you as particularly competitive, or you think you have any guesses on who will take the victories this week?
NRL versus Los Nomadas is going to be interesting. Demonic Ascension now with all their changes versus Titan Gaming Mox should be pretty interesting to see for the first time as well. So I think those are two particular matchups to definitely look over to. Always good to watch HYG as they attempt to improve season after week after week. And I think the favorite of this week's probably going to end up being the FF15 versus Kraken Slayers.
Yeah, I agree. The games between Kraken Slayers and FF15, our teams line up really well against each other, so I think there'll be some exciting back and forth games there. I've been joking. The Demonic Ascension versus Titan Gaming Mox is basically the two new teams fighting each other, since it'll be the first week where we have all of Titan Gaming Mox, and there were some big changes on Demonic Ascension's side this coming into this week.
I'm also interested in seeing Goat Kings, Bomba Bros. So it's tough sledding here for Code Kings. I think they're 0-2. Bomba's looked good week 1, and then not so good week 2. So it's interesting to see if they're gonna level out and if Goat Kings can get their footing. Both those were playoff teams from last season. It's
Oh
it's a
yeah, for
very
sure.
competitive division with Los Tomatas, so it's very interesting with both of them coming off of L's. Who's gonna right the ship? And again, what do we have? 7 more weeks to go.
Yep,
So they're gonna start adding up those wins and losses.
for sure, for sure. And now we'll show the predictions that I definitely didn't show beforehand. We've got some belief for the Bomba Bros. It's about 70-30 in favor of them over the Goat Kings. I think if they show up like week 1, I would agree. But you gotta play on the day, so we'll see which team wants it more. For Night Raid Owls versus Los Nomadas, very close to 50-50, slight edge for Night Raid. I think if they go with the plan they had against us last week, where they were just said, hey, we have a strong top side, let's play like it, then they have a pretty good chance. But Los Nomadas always finds ways to win series and just has very good drafting from Snurbopsy, so I think that'll be an interesting one. For FF15 versus Kraken Slayers. Got some belief for FF15. People believe in the boys. 70-30 exactly. So my team's just gonna have to play upset. Show them who's the real boss in town right now. Next one up, we've got Stoner Nation versus HYG. And pretty close to 50-50. Slight edge for Stoner Nation. But people believe in it in the HYG crew. So definitely going to want to see some strong play from both sides there. For Demonic Ascension versus Titan Gaming Mux, have about 60-40 favoring Titan Gaming Mux. Hard to really predict that one since there's so much new players on each team, or just players who have been out. I bet Lissamata's bet against themselves. Yeah, they are known for that. So they just like winning the channel points more than actually winning games, you know. And then the final matchup, insert name there versus Shifting Sands Gaming. Bam, huge favorability for insert name there. People saw them this last week, liked what they saw, and have a lot of belief in them with the 81 to 19%.
That's big.
But what do you guys think about the predictions? Do you agree? You have any you think are off base?
Honestly, I think they're pretty on point. Maybe the Go Kings versus Bomber Bros one might be the one that's the most contentious, but for the most part, right now, based on last week's results, I think we're looking at some pretty good predictions.
I'm surprised this season how one-sided some of these votes are already this early.
Right.
Last season, even when we started introducing this, most of the time they're relatively even, no matter what the win losses looked like. So it's very interesting. There's a lot of belief already in some of these teams, and we'll see if somebody can start pulling away. But I don't believe there's an undefeated team this season.
Insert name there is technically undefeated.
Are they okay? They're 2-0.
They got a forfeit week 1.
Okay, so we got one standing after 2 weeks. That's pretty good competition right there so far, though.
FF15 is also 2-0 currently. So my team's just got to be here to break their undefeated streak and break the vote. And the current leaders in the pick'ems are Boosted Sandwich and Vintage. They're both sitting at a 75% accuracy on the pick rate. So they've gotten 9 out of the 12 correct so far. And be ready for the live games tonight. The vote is in, and it will be FF15 versus the Kraken Slayers for the live games. So be sure to check those out in about 45 minutes. And thank you all for watching. This was a quick one, but we gotta get ready for the games tonight, and we'll see you soon. Have a good night.
It's